What's understood doesn't need to be explained.
But in the interest of clarity,
we'll explain it anyway.
You are appreciated.
You are admired.
You are irreplaceable.
our teachers,
Our bus drivers.
Principals.
Cafeteria staff.
Especially our cafeteria staff.
And our counselors.
we love our counselors.
We know what's being said in the newspapers.
We even know what's being said on TV.
No, we don't.
We don't watch the news.
Regardless,
Our teachers are intelligent.
Hardworking.
Hardworking.
Our teachers need another raise.
No matter what happens this year.
we know it's going to be a great one.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Great.
Because we get to share it with you.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I can't open these things.
Good morning. Welcome to the plenary session of our inaugural Leadership Conference. I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for your Jackson-Madison County School System. I know you will benefit from the professional development you take part in this week, as well as the session this morning. Now, our session includes several students. Students who are using the last days of their summer break to celebrate with us. So as they make their way to the stage and participate, please make sure they are celebrated. It's now time for the presentation of colors by the Liberty Tech Junior ROTC and the national anthem by Liberty Senior Trey Marsh. The ROCT cadets are Isabella Nolasco, Natalie Hasher, Elijah Bond, and Aziza Schwam. Their teachers are Major Christopher Honeycutt and Sergeant Marty Moore. Please stand and remain standing until the ROTC unit has left the floor. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Liberty Technology Magnet High School. I would like to take this time to recognize the special guest of the superintendent. To avoid missing anyone, we're going to recognize our guests throughout the program. So if you don't hear your name now, you will hear your name at some point before the program is over. I want to recognize our district attorney, Jody Pickens. Judge Nathan and Dr. Linda Pride. Former school board member, Miss Carol McCright. Attorney Terica Smith. Friends of JMCSS. And John Mark Walls. Thank you. Teaching is a calling. We do it because it's a task we respect and love. Bishop Nathaniel Bond, senior pastor at Light of Life Ministries, is here to provide our commission for that calling and prayer.
Let us bow together. Eternal God, our Savior, we first of all say thank you for this great country in which we live, for life, for health, and for strength, and all of your blessings that you have bestowed upon us. But as we look around and count our blessings, there's no blessing that we have received, no greater than our children. Your word declares that lo, children are the heritage of God. And you said, as arrows are in the hand of mighty men, so are the children. They are gifts, they are miracles happening before our eyes. And there is no greater calling than the calling to nurture and to educate our children. We bow to give a special thanks to you and ask special blessings upon Dr. King. Not only him, but every principal, every teacher, every member of the faculty and staff. I pray that you would give them divine protection. We all watched in horror as we saw what happened in Texas a few weeks ago. We thank you for looking our way and stretching your hand of blessing and divine protection over the students of Jackson and Madison County. We ask that you protect us and keep us. Your word also declares, except the Lord build the house, we labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain. Your grace be upon every school officer. Your grace be upon every teacher, every staff member. Give them wisdom. Let them see everything they need to see. Let them be aware of all the situations that exist around us. Let angels protect us in our going out and our coming back in. And then, God, we pray for the most precious gift among us, our children, that you allow their minds to be educated, that they will meet the challenges of the future. We believe that the future is bright because we believe some of the most gifted and most talented students in the world exist in this Jackson-Madison County school system. So we ask that you let this be a great year. Let this be a prosperous year. Let this be a year of growth, a year of learning. And I pray at the end of the day, we all have good health, good strength, that we all will look back and say, if it had not been for the Lord who was on our side, where would we be? We give you praise right now. And we give you glory for what you've done, for what you're doing, and for what you're going to do. We ask these and other blessings in the matchless, marvelous, majestic name of Jesus the Christ. And everybody collectively said, amen.
Good morning. I'm Melissa Spurgeon, Chief of Staff for our school system. In my role as Chief of Staff, I get to see the importance and the impact of community partnerships and school advocacy. That begins with our school board and continues with a diverse group of elected officials and our business community. Board Chairman Pete Johnson is here to speak on behalf of our school board. Let's make him feel welcome.
Good morning. Thank you, Melissa. I'm excited about the opportunities we have this year to inspire almost 13,000 students this year. I'm also excited about public education. That's what we do. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the historic successes that you chalked up last year through the arts, athletics, and quietly in academics. This venue, Oman Arena, the city has allowed us to use it over the years, the last several years. This past year, I signed a contract that turned this Oman Arena over to Jackson Madison County School System. Give yourself some applause. These past year's successes and future successes are made possible because of trusted and experienced leadership. In the name of Dr. Martin King, also through a unified school board. In addition to that, to complete the formula, experienced leaders, unified school board is dedicated employees. And we have some of the best dedicated employees in the state of Tennessee. Give yourself a round of applause. At this time, allow me to introduce our school board members. Doris Black, would you stand, please? School Board District 4. Andrea Darnell. District 6. Sherry Franks. District 5. Scott Gatlin. He's not here, but he's in District 5 also. Debbie Gall, District 3. Janice Hampton, District 6. Dr. Kenneth Newman, District 2. Let me spotlight Dr. Newman, who was my former 12th grade English teacher. So A.J. Massey, District 4. And yours truly, District 1. Thank you. Just a challenge, keep raising awareness about the good things that is happening in our schools each and every day. We believe, like Lyndon Johnson said one time, is that education is not an expense, but we believe education is an investment. We will continue to support you and invest in you and our students. That's how we remain the best by any measure. Thank you.
If you followed the progression of Pope School Project, you know that our county commissioners voted unanimously to provide funding for the new Pope School. Yes. That unity was developed in part by the advocacy of our outgoing mayor, Jimmy Harris. Mayor Harris could not be here this morning, but we want to take this opportunity to acknowledge his advocacy on behalf of our schools. He's the grandfather of a JMCSS student, so we know that his support will continue. Also, Mayor Conger was unavailable. They had a city council meeting, so he sends his greetings also. I wanted to acknowledge any county commissioners that are in the audience, if you'll stand to be recognized? Okay. Oh. It's now time for a bit of entertainment, and we are in for a special treat. Harmonics from Madison Academic is here to perform under the direction of Lindsay Patterson. Let's welcome these students to the stage. The Madison students are Abby Groom, Braden Nye, Colton Moore, and we actually have 2 graduates that graduated in May, and they're about to head off to college. Cody Hooper, he will be attending Lee University on a full music and academic scholarship, and Millie Treadway will be attending Rhodes College in the fall, also on a full music and academic scholarship.
Your love keeps lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up and quench my desire, and I'll be exercised forevermore.
Your love keeps lifting me, keeps on lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher and higher. Your love keeps lifting me, keeps on lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher and higher.
Now once I was downhearted, disappointment was my closest friend. But then you came, and it soon departed, and he never showed his face again.
Your love keeps lifting me, keeps on lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher and higher. Your love keeps lifting me, keeps on lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher and higher. Oh, your love keeps lifting me, oh, keeps on lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher and higher. Oh, your love keeps lifting me, oh, keeps on lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher and higher. Your love, it keeps on lifting me. Your love, it keeps on lifting me higher.
Following the pack, all swallowed in their coats, with scarves of red tied round their throats, to keep their little heads from falling in the snow. Then I turned round and there you go, and Michael, you would fall and turn the white snow red as strawberries in the summertime. of red tied round their throats to keep their little heads from falling in the snow. Then I turned round and there you go. And Michael, you would fall and turn the white snow red as strawberries in the summertime. Ooh. Following the pack, all swallowed in their coats, with scarves of red tied round their throats to keep their little heads from falling in the snow. Then I turned round and there you go. And Michael, you would fall and turn the white snow red as strawberries in the summertime.
Judgment, motivation, courage, service, and support. These are the core values of the Jackson-Madison County school system.
When you're the second largest employer in Madison County, you have to deal with a lot of moving parts. Our core values ensure that we pull in the same direction.
Well, I got two kids. One already graduated from here as a top 5 in his class. His name is Sam Jr. And I got Joshua, my second son. So he's about to graduate in May. Because I see it was a great opportunity for him having a college degree, getting out from high school.
I think it's always good that you want to kind of tailor a program to your kid that you know he can handle. Certainly a little bit of added pressure on us and him. But hey, pressure is what you need to succeed.
The core value that we embody most at JCM Middle School is motivation. Through our morning motivation in the Car Rider line, through our house system, our students are able to see that we love and we care about them.
I remember it was our 4th time playing Southside. I was ready when I looked in the students' eyes and the faculty's eyes, and they had courage. Courage is what got us over that hump. You have to have courage, whether it's in the classroom, it's in the gym. Courage builds character. You have to have courage to accomplish hard things.
You know, because 41 years, man, is a long time. I enjoyed the children, and they all love Mr. Mike, Mr. Mike, Mr. Mike. And that's the main thing that keeps me going, because it's all about the children, man.
Every single child walks into the classroom with a different background, with a different starting place very often. But often our goal is to help them all end in a very similar place where they have had equitable opportunities. And I've seen that again reflected in the outcomes from my own children, but also through their friends and others and families here. And I, again, can't speak enough of how incredible this school is. 2
years ago, Dr. King came in and he implemented our core values. We appreciate his leadership, and we look forward to continuing a bright future Jackson-Madison County school system.
Good morning. Ricky Catlett, Deputy Superintendent of Operations. Welcome back. We want to thank everyone for being with us today, and we want to make sure that we're pleased, let you know how pleased we are for those of you returning to Jackson-Madison County School for another school year, and certainly welcome those new to Jackson-Madison County. Give all those new people a round of applause right now for coming aboard. We would like to express our sincere appreciation for the job you do. You are what makes the school system what it is, and that's a place to learn, grow, and succeed. You have been chosen of one of over 2,000 employees in our district that have a mutual passion for our students, and we appreciate you so much for that. Together, we can make the difference not only in ourselves, but in the lives of those that we lead and teach. The impact that each of you do have such an impact in a special way. Please remember how many people are watching you when school starts and for a new school year. You've just heard our core values. Let these 5 words be the roadmap for school success. Together, we make the school system the best it can be, and we're expected to demonstrate those core values. Thank you for representing them and displaying judgment, motivation, courage, and service and support to our students and coworkers. Your commitment to show these core values do not go unnoticed. Now it's my honor to do a few introductions on the operations side. I would like to introduce a few special guests, my operations chiefs, for demonstrating not only our core values, but taking care of me every day. I appreciate you. Appreciate your friendship, your loyalty, dedication, and commitment to our students at Jackson-Madison County School System. First, Dr. Diane Hicks Watkins. Altogether, this group has over 87 years experience in education, so I applaud them for sticking with it, and especially sticking it with me. 27 years experience as a teacher, a principal, elementary, middle, and high school principal, also district leadership. Dr. Watkins serves as our Chief Human Capital Officer. If you are in Dr. Watkins' department, she touches all employees, over 2,000 employees. She has interaction with you guys. If you're in her department, please stand at this time and give them a round of applause. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Next, Mr. Tim Gilmer, 34 years of experience as a teacher, elementary, middle, and high school principal, college teacher, and district leadership. Mr. Gilmer serves as Chief Support Officer. He is responsible for transportation, food service, and security. Please stand at this time if Mr. Gilmer is your supervisor. So if you're food service, transportation, and security. Now, let me say this, we love you teachers. But I tell you what, our cafeteria workers and bus drivers, you are the first ones that they see, and we appreciate you so much. We appreciate you. We certainly do. And last, Mr. Jason Bridgman. He's new. Mr. Bridgman has a fan club. Yes, sir, he's a good one. 26 years of experience as a teacher, assistant principal, principal elementary and high school, and district leadership. Mr. Bridgman serves as Chief Operating Officer, and he is responsible for maintenance and athletics. So if you are in the maintenance department or an athletic director in the district, please stand at this time. All right. Thank you. Appreciate you guys so much. Last, thank you for choosing us, Jackson-Madison County School System. We're praying for a safe, productive, and wonderful school year. May God bless you and your families and have a super duper year.
My name is Prince Buchanan. I'm a senior client systems engineer at Netflix. I am a graduate of Northside High School, class of 2002.
Prince Buchanan was a former student of mine when he was in the 7th grade. So that was a few years ago when I was a 7th grade English teacher at Northeast Middle School.
That period of time in my life was very tumultuous and trying time for me, because when kids have a lot of factors outside other than just going to school and bringing your best self to school, factors in the home, or broken homes, or poverty, or worrying about things like in 7th grade, or some of these kids, like, they shouldn't have to worry about the lights are going to be, like, the light bills paid. They shouldn't have to worry about, like, am I going to have milk for cereal tomorrow? And these are some of the things that, I had to worry about.
He did. His mom was doing the best she could. She always worked. However, she did become ill. And Prince was trying to be the man that mentally, at 12 and 13, a boy cannot be a man mentally.
I was literally in class giving up. She pulled me out in the hall. She's like, let me talk to you. Let me talk to you. And I've seen her have this tone maybe a few times with other students, but not with me.
He just looked at me. I said, well, Prince, he kind of shrugged and looked at me. Prince, what's going on? Like, look, I want to help you. All you got to do is just talk to me. I will help you. Nothing. Yes, it is. And we're going to stand here until you tell me what's going on.
Then at that point, like, everything just came out. Like, the emotion just came out. Like, I was just really, really upset because, like, I had been putting on this front with myself and just being like, you know what, I'm not even going to care anymore. Nothing's good's going to happen to me. I'm just, this is where I'm going to be.
They need hope and they need truth. And you can't have one without the other. Hope without truth leads them to believe there is a world of fantasy out there and that you can do whatever you want to do. And then truth without giving them hope is failure.
And so throughout that time, like, that kind of shook me to make me act a whole lot better in school and care more. Obviously, there were times where I still, begin to get discouraged, but I did have a good support system from obviously from her, and then of course my friends at that time too, to where it made me kind of get myself together. A quick word of encouragement can go a long way for somebody, and never look down on people. I know it sounds very cliche to say, but don't look down on people. Just a hello. How you doing today? You know what I mean? Just that can go a long way with helping someone with encouragement, because people like to be seen and felt. You know what I mean? Just make sure you're doing that. I have a group of guys I cycle with a lot, and my cross street is literally Sunset Boulevard, where I live. Obviously, Sunset Boulevard is one of the most famous streets in the world, and it's actually my cross street now. Coming from public housing, food stamps, WIC, you name it, all that. I never envisioned my life being like this.
Good morning. I'm Deputy Superintendent Dr. Vivian Williams. The alumni feature that we just watched is a great reminder of the far-reaching impact a teacher and a school can have on a young person's life. My hope is that you walk away from our morning session motivated and encouraged to do as much good as you can this school year. There are several leaders in the district that I would like to recognize at this time who are here to support you throughout the process. Let me introduce the academics department. Catherine Korth. Catherine is our Chief of Assessment and Accountability. She has oversight of the measures of success and accountability for both our students and our teachers, academic progress and effectiveness, and we support her and we appreciate her. Thank you. Kippy Jordan. Kippy is our Chief of Schools. Her role is building leadership capacity through professional development and support for not only our assistant principals, our new principals, and others seeking leadership roles. Thank you. Tiffany Spite. Tiffany is our Chief Academic Officer, overseeing academics K-12, curriculum, and instruction. She is supporting teachers and helping teachers to improve their instructional practice and overall effectiveness. Dr. Shalonda Franklin. Dr. Franklin serves as our Chief of Social and Behavioral Services. This department is about caring and supporting students and families to promote a positive learning environment in all of our schools. Dr. Patrice Richardson Martin. Dr. Martin is Chief of Compliance and Monitoring. She is responsible for the oversight of compliance and monitoring of federal programs across the district while trying to align all of our educational services across all departments. Dr. Teresa McSweeney. Dr. McSweeney is our Chief Innovation Officer. She provides a proactive, dynamic, collaborative, forward-thinking vision to transform the future of education in Jackson-Madison County School System. At this time, we will ask that all in the academics and our behavior services department please stand. Let me just end with wow. It's amazing, it is wow to stand before you this morning. Educators, you are wow, wonderful, outstanding, and worthy. Have a fantastic year.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. Speaking of academics, would all of our friends at JCM Early College High give me a big wave? Where are you? There you are. Would Mr. Bob Sparks please stand? If you read the Superintendent Chronicle last week, you know that Mr. Sparks was recently named Teacher of the Year for the Southwest region. And the English and Creative Writing teacher is one of 9 finalists for the State of Tennessee Teacher of the Year. Congratulations, Mr. Sparks. Thank you for making JMCSS stand out. We appreciate you and are very proud of you. Thank you. It's now time to meet our keynote speaker. Dr. Carol Johnson Dean has served on multiple levels of the education spectrum. And at the highest levels, she served as interim president of Lemoyne College. She's been a visiting professor at Vanderbilt Peabody College, as well as superintendent in the Boston Public Schools, Memphis City Schools, Minneapolis Public Schools, and St. Louis Park Public Schools. The Boston Public Schools was recognized as one of the most improved school districts in the world during her tenure. In addition to receiving awards for her advocacy for arts education, Dr. Johnson Dean was named Minnesota's Superintendent of the Year and the Tennessee PTA Superintendent of the Year, among many other accolades we could mention. Dr. Johnson Dean earned a bachelor's degree in elementary education from Fisk University and master's and doctorate degrees from the University of Minnesota. Dr. Johnson Dean is married to Dr. Willie Dean, who is a retired YMCA executive. Together, they share 6 adult children. Please help me welcome to the stage Dr. Carol Johnson Dean.
Hopewell School, 1945. The magnitude of my responsibility as a teacher struck me as I dismissed my 36 pupils on a rainy, wintry day. I stood in the doorway as the voices faded in the distance. Suddenly, my eyes were drawn to the footprints in the mud. There before me were the tracks, the indentations of my pupils' feet. Little prints, large prints, varying in size, pattern, and direction. Suddenly, a voice seemed to say, "You are responsible for the direction in which these feet will go. You will lead these feet to great achievements or bitter disappointments." I then mused that my job was far more weighty and dangerous than I had ever visualized. I thought of the truck drivers who delivered gas or the trucks carrying explosives. I began comparing their jobs with mine. One careless moment on my job, like theirs, one careless moment can destroy life or maim many. My biggest task as a teacher is to be growing a person that becomes more capable with each year's experience. I must never forget the human touch, the smile, the concern, the touch of the hand, the sound of a caring voice that lies and lives in the heart. Harsh words also live on, leaving scar tissue. How careful, then, ought we speak? Carry love into the classroom, and you will see evidence of the love model before you. I did not write that in 1945, but my mother did, long before I was born, I might add. Good morning, and welcome to the JMCSS family and a new school year. Let me begin by thanking Superintendent King for inviting me, for Melissa being my caretaker. And let me just say, I have known Dr. King for almost 2 decades. The energy and enthusiasm he brings to every endeavor is beyond compare. And I want to applaud the Jackson-Madison County School Board for their leadership in choosing a superintendent who cares and who leads from the heart. It matters a lot. I also know that the work of being a school board member has become increasingly more difficult. And so today I also honor those who choose to run for election and who choose to serve, because sometimes it's a thankless job, and you every day advocate on behalf of the children of this community. I know that some of you have worked throughout the summer, and we never ever feel like our summer vacation was quite long enough for us to energize all of our batteries. I also know that even when teachers are at home, they are working and preparing, reading and learning, and thinking all about how they will do better this year. So long before we actually return to school, many of you were hard at work. So let me begin by thanking you, those of you who gave up some of your summer vacation to teach and tutor students, and those of you who came back a little bit early to get your classroom set up, not just for 10 months of the year, but because you see your job as year-round. Thank you for the tremendous work that you have done over the last 2 years in an uncertain future with both health and safety-related issues. My own sister-in-law died from COVID, and I know everybody in this audience knows someone who suffered either from getting COVID or who passed. Despite everything, you have remained positive and strong, committed and determined, and the fact that you are here today on August 2nd is evidence that you understand the important role you play, regardless of your job title, in the education of our students. While I did not really grow up in Jackson or Madison County, I grew up just down the road in Brownsville, Haywood County. Most people don't know where that is, but I think you do. I do not feel like a stranger to this community. Growing up, my family traveled often to Jackson, the big city, to shop and participate in church and youth-related activities. My beloved mother, who has long passed, and my sister Margaret both are graduates of Lane College, and my godmother, Mrs. Anna Cook, was the Lane College librarian for many years. My daughter-in-law, Candace Kerr, and her family members attended Tigard Junior High School, Jackson Central Mary High School, and they also had relatives They had relatives who attended Parkview Elementary School. So on more than one occasion, I visited this community, visited the historic First Baptist Church and the CME Church here, and I feel especially committed to this community because of the proximity and the people. But when I look back at where I started, the demographics of Brownsville, my journey would never have been predicted. All the black students attended Carver in Brownsville at the time, and all the white students went to Haywood High. While my mom was my 5th grade teacher, my dad never graduated from high school. He grew up on a farm and eventually left the farm to open his own barbershop and billiard hall right in Brownsville. Everything in our community revolved around church, school, and family. And I was blessed to grow up with caring and loving people, a maternal grandmother who lived with us, and she and my parents raised my other 8 siblings. My pastor at First Baptist Church in Brownsville drove me to Fisk University in Nashville, and together we met with admissions and financial aid officers. And he helped me, and I was fortunate to be granted a scholarship and the opportunity to participate in work study the entire 4 years I attended. You may wonder why I bothered to share this history with you, but I'm reminded every single day that we have the opportunity every single day to look into the faces of students, and despite their family background and circumstance, we do have a chance to improve their lives. We have a chance, and we have no way of knowing or predicting their future, their journey, or how their gifts will be used, but we have a chance to make it better for them. The smartest girl in my class in elementary school was Martha Morton. Martha and her sister Marion lived with their elderly grandmother in a 2-room house across the street from Carver. We never saw or heard about Martha's mom or dad, and nobody back then ever asked. Martha regularly attended school and our church and would go on to graduate from Tennessee State. Not too long ago, Martha retired from serving decades as a social worker in the city of Detroit, changing the life chances of thousands of children who too had an unusual family upbringing. Martha grew up in poverty, was the first in her family to attend and graduate from college. Martha would share with me later that she only made it in spite of her background because of the caring adults at Carver, her grandmother's love, and she got to go places with other families like ours that she might never have imagined or knew existed. I could only say to Martha, but God. There are thousands of Marthas and Michaels, Marlons and Malcolms, Mabels and Marquitas in every school in this community. Students whose families have very little in terms of monetary resources. Students whose home lives are less stable than we would want. Students who've had too much moving around with limited housing choices, and students whose academic progress has suffered. They may not have had a Pastor Curry to take them to Fisk University. As we kick off this new year, we have much to celebrate. So here's a tease. I'm not going to tell you all you have to celebrate. I think I'm going to let Dr. King tell you some of what you have to celebrate. But you should be proud of the strides you've made with technology, early college, high school opportunities that help students to gain associate degrees and industry certifications. You should be excited about the new Pope Elementary School and the reopening of the Jackson Central Mary High School, and applauded. And you should be applauded for recognizing that strong arts and athletic programs are essential to student engagement and parent support. Weren't you proud of these students who performed today, and Ms. Patterson, our music teacher, who led them? Congratulations. But as you know all too well, as I do, recruiting and retaining the best talent, the best teachers, the best food service workers, the best custodians requires you to invest in your own employees, hire and promote effective leaders, and that recognition and compensation, as you heard from our students, do matter. I have learned, though, that our teachers will work in the most difficult and challenging schools if they work for a principal who they trust and who cares about their teaching. But the Jackson Madison School that I visited back in the day is a drastically different place than the schools and the community you serve today. You and I both know, if you've been here for a while, Jackson has changed demonstrably, and with Blue Oval coming, it's likely to change even more. But I wish I could tell you that we have done enough, but our journey to achieve academic success and emotional well-being is not done. Some time ago, I was asked to speak at a Rotary Club, and after my presentation, one of the business leaders asked this question: how on earth did we get here? I need to stop and think about that question. But I did think about there are 3 assumptions that I believe are faulty assumptions that we have to correct. So assumption number 1, well, I'll tell you all 3. 1, we thought it was okay if we educated some of the kids and not all of them. That was a faulty assumption. Assumption 2, we thought schools could do everything. Not a good idea. Number 3, other people told us what was best instead of asking our teachers and principals who face our kids every day what is best for our kids. So let me describe each of these assumptions. In the past, we thought it was okay. It wasn't our fault if some schools' kids achieved and others didn't. We accepted this. We no longer have that luxury. This competition is not between Jackson, Madison, Fayette County, and Germantown. Rather, our students will be competing around this nation and across the globe. I have had the chance to work in other districts, and I will offer you a couple of insights. When I was in Boston, we had about 50,000 students. We looked at the large number of students who were dropping out of school. Our data showed us this: every 2 days, 12 students dropped out of school. Over a year's period of time, that ended up being about 1,100 students. I want you to imagine what happens in a community when teenagers are roaming our streets without a high school diploma, without supervision, not able to get a job, and without the dispositions to succeed in school or treat other people with dignity. The chair of the Council of Economic Advisors, Cecilia Rouse's research shows that every dropout costs the nation $260,000, while each high school graduate reduces the cost of crime by $112,000, and further, high school graduates tend to live longer and healthier lives. We knew we had a serious problem in Boston with dropout, but we wanted to go upstream, and we wanted to see if we could predict what was the likelihood that somebody would drop out. And here's what we learned. Dropping out of school doesn't start at high school. It starts long before that. So what we learned is this: students in our middle schools who were not in school at least 80% or more of the time were most likely to drop out. Now, 80% in most stuff isn't that big of a deal, but when you are not in school 80% of the time, that's a day a week, every week. So less than 80% of the time, if you're in middle school and you're not attending, you're more likely to drop out. Number 2, students in middle school, particularly in 8th grade, who failed one or more core courses, English, math, science, or social studies, if they fail one of those courses in their 8th grade year, they're more likely to drop out. Students who came to this country late arrivals who did not speak English, were more likely to drop out. And lastly, students who were in separate special education classes for extended long periods of time were more likely to drop out. So we knew that attendance mattered, we knew that grades in 8th grade mattered, we knew that learning English mattered, and we also knew that we had to do more with our special needs students for them to stay on track. Knowing these facts gave us tools to address and reduce our dropout rate by 40% within 2 years. Let me shift for a minute to Memphis. When I served in the Memphis City schools, we created this whole district-wide campaign: every child, every day, college bound. Oh my gosh, I was criticized royally on talk radio. What on earth is she talking about? Does she think everyone should go to college? Actually, my intentions were somewhat different. I wanted us, those of us who were teachers, to teach every student as if we thought they might be going to college, as opposed to deciding ahead of time who can go and who can't. So it was all about us doing our job. The choice belongs to the student and their family. Our job is to educate them well and expose them to many options and help them to feel their God-given potential, but not to decide in advance who is worthy and who is not. I believe, and I still believe now and then, that you will need to acquire marketable skills so that you're able to secure meaningful employment and support your families. Kids should always have lots of choices. College is only one. Technical programs in schools, earning training certificates, or the military. My brother-in-law likes to remind me of this. Nobody in his family had ever gone to college, so he didn't plan for college when he graduated from high school, but his best friend was going to the military, to the Air Force. So he went with his best friend to the Air Force. Fortunately, he got an excellent education and training in the military, and he works today as an aviation mechanic for FedEx. So you don't have to go to college, but you do have to do something to make sure that you can find a job. We will always need nurses and plumbers, electricians and hairstylists, secretaries and bus drivers and truck drivers, mechanics. Every one of these jobs, though, requires some skill. You cannot work in America today without some skill. So assumption number one is we can't let some kids be successful and other kids drop out. Assumption number two, our schools can do it all. We as a community have expected the schools to do it all, to take on everything and to be there all the time. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, summer, vacations, before and after school. Over the last decade, we have gone from focus on teaching academic skills and civic values to social-emotional skills, working with the health department, food and housing insecurities, transportation, community safety, and the list goes on. Until recently, few in our community even recognize all the stuff we did. We did not help families, our corporate community, and our nonprofit leaders understand that they too have a responsibility to contribute to the education of the next generation. We simply cannot continue to own all of these responsibilities and simultaneously focus our energy and resources in ways that build academic achievement for all. As school people, we must protect our teachers and our support staff from burnout, because if they get burned out, they will leave us. If COVID taught us anything, we must look to and expect our community and our family partners to step up to the plate and join with us in responding to the needs of our children and families and educate the next generation. Educating our children is a team sport. It is not our sole responsibility. If any of you have been watching some of the track and field events this summer in Portland, Oregon, you will recognize that every successful team relies on an intentional and smooth handoff from the first runner to the one who runs the final and fastest leg. Transitions are important and critical. We need our preschool communities to do all they can to give our youngest children a good, safe, and early start before they come to kindergarten. Our partners can help us with after-school activities, scouting, athletics, and the arts, and our libraries, churches, and retired educators, sororities, and fraternities can help to reinforce our academic efforts with literacy and mathematics tutoring. And yet, we still need to tell our parents to get their children to school every day, on time, and create the conditions where homework can be completed, and our messages can be respected, and hard work matters. We simply cannot succeed alone. We also cannot blame or whine. Both are kind of undignified and communicate hopelessness. So let's not blame and whine. Rather, we must speak with clarity about the challenges we face, the high expectations we have, and speak forthrightly with a focus on attracting and building partnerships who can help us with solutions. Our families and this community expect more from us, but we also have to remind them of their jobs too. And the final assumption, number 3. Everybody thinks they know how to run a school who's walked by a school. We have all too often ignored the voices and expertise of the very people who touch our students and who work most closely with them. The ideas and advice from teachers, principals, and support staff are not always included in the laws and rules that are made at the state and federal levels. We simply cannot allow people to hijack our profession, undervalue our efforts, who have not been in our classroom since they went to school, who have never taught or tutored a single child to read, write, or compute. Annually, lots of laws are made about who can and cannot teach, what we should and should not teach, when and where we should teach, how we should teach, whether we are valued, recognized, or rewarded. Most often, these laws and rules are made by those who assume that they know best. Well, let me give you a clue. We no longer believe that Father only knows best. Those of us who have chosen to work in public education have a front row seat to our community's future. Long before the rest of the community noticed, we looked directly into the diverse eyes and faces of the kindergartners, first graders, and even those who would drop out. If the last 2 years taught us anything, it demonstrated that we are needed for this nation's economic and social well-being. From time to time, I admit that I'm totally dismayed when I hear those who should be applauding our efforts and thanking us for our service, using the opportunity to criticize teachers and principals, criticize school board members and superintendents, and our preparation institutions and colleges. Our students have complex needs, and there are no easy assignments in public education, none. Whether you're in a small elementary school or large middle or high school, whether you find yourself serving at Arlington or Lincoln or Madison Academy or JCM Early College, these schools may have different needs and have differentiated supports, but every one of these schools and the people who work in them are doing the most demanding jobs in America today. There are no easy jobs in public education. As you heard today from your leaders, our schools demand leadership at every level. But leadership is not about a title. Leadership is about a courageous choice we make each and every day, regardless of our position or title. We are, as you heard from your superintendent, expected to use good judgment. And even in the midst of personal family challenges and sacrifice, we have to show up, put our children first, because we know they are motivated by our service and our support. We are truly blessed and fortunate to work in this profession, a uniquely American experiment created to educate all, not just some of our nation's children. But we must set new rules of engagement and a new direction that alters the old assumptions. We have to educate all. We have to tell people we can't do everything and they have to do some of this work. And we have to tell them that they have to listen to us because we do know better. What we do here today, fail to do today, will resonate, reverberate, and reappear not only in Jackson, but in the global marketplace that our children will help inherit. The governor of Massachusetts used to say, "It only takes a single generation." This is hard work, but if you educate one child and you send one child to college or to a technical program or to a military who has never, and nobody in their family has ever done that, it sets the momentum for everybody in that family who comes after them. So it only takes a single generation. A charge to keep we have, a God to glorify. Let me end my remarks today kind of paraphrasing a scripture from the book of Jeremiah. And it goes something like this: "Seek the well-being of the city to which I have sent you, for in seeking its well-being, you will find your own." Thank you for having me today.
Good morning. I'm Marlon King, and I'm your coach. And We are going to win this championship. We are going to win this championship. As Mr. Wicker comes to the stage, I want to recognize a few people. We have a few guests I want to give a shout out to right quick before I move on. Where is Murray and Valerie Love? I thought I saw them. Stan, thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. We have also, where's Pastor William Watson, the historic First Baptist. Dr. C.A. Bass, St. Paul CME. Thank you, Doc. Where is Pastor Ronald Bitten? I thought I saw Pastor Bitten. Pastor Bitten, okay. What about Pastor Polk? St. James, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Our good friend, Pastor Wayne Smith. Thank you. Where is Pastor James Farmer? The historic Woodlawn, Brownsville, Tennessee. Thank you, Doc. We appreciate you for being here. We have a couple more I'm going to introduce later on. We do have who I call Principal Emeritus of Southside High School, my dear friend, my commissioner, Mr. Jimmy Arnold. Would you stand again? I see a couple of college presidents that I'm going to introduce later, so I'll share that. But you know what, you all? It's time for the roll call. It is time for the roll call. Principals, this is how we're going to do the roll call. The principal will come to the stage. You will introduce your administration, and you will also introduce your faculty staff, and you'll have your new teachers to stand as well. Is that okay? All right. Mr. Wicker, you have the list of the schools, or I'll give them to you? I'll give them to you. I'm going to let Mr. Wicker introduce the schools, but principals, if you come to the stage, I'll hand you the mic, and you go from there, however you choose to do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our principal from Andrew Jackson, Mr. Ryan Kirkbride.
All right, all right, all right. I know I'm not Matthew McConaughey, but you gotta fake it till you make it. I am the principal of Andrew Jackson. I've got Miss Myers, my assistant principal right here. Miss Sandra Turner, my instructional coach. And I know my people are up here somewhere, my teachers from Andrew Jackson. Stand up, let them know we're here. Hello?
Thank you, Mr. Kirkbride. Next up, we've got Amanda Brabham from East Elementary.
Good morning, East Elementary, stand to your feet. Woo! Thank you for coming, and I want to give a shout out to all of our staff, our awesome teachers, custodians, assistant teachers, everybody that makes up the East family. We thank you and we appreciate you, and again, my name is Dr. Amanda Brabham.
All right, next up, near and dear to my heart, some of the most innovative teachers that we have. I'm calling up Dr. Josie Curry from the JASA Rockets.
There's my Rockets in the back. Look at them. Woo! We may be a baby school, only a year old, but we have the most heart. Let me hear my Rockets!
There's somebody very important that's a part of this. Mr. Grapes, Joe Grapes, where are you? Thank you. My assistant principal, he really does it. He didn't write this for me, so in other words, I didn't know what to say.
Next up, wait, we're getting a reminder real quick. Hold on.
I'm back again. I want to introduce my amazing assistant principal, Miss Tiffany Silvers. Please stand. Also, my amazing instructional coach, Miss Jill Tanner. Without them, East success would not be possible.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, next up, we have Tracy Val, who I entrust with my two sons every day at Pope Elementary.
Good morning, Pope Panthers. I see you up there. Let's hear from you one more time, guys. I am so very proud to introduce you to our two assistant principals for Pope School. Please join me in welcoming and introducing Mrs. Wavon Shepard and Mr. Antonio Graham. Also, we have our amazing instructional coach, Mrs. April Howell. And again, on behalf of our entire Pope School community, we can only thank you and say that we look forward to this great endeavor of having a new Pope School. Thank you.
Next up, we have Mrs. Lindsay Pickens from Thelma Barker Elementary.
Good morning. I would like to first introduce my two amazing principals, assistant principals, Dr. Quincy Jones, they're over here, and Mr. Kenton Evans. And then my amazing instructional coach, Tina Gander. And then, of course, my awesome staff. They're up there in Section N.
Thank you, Ms. Pickens. Next up, from Northeast Middle and Academy, we have Michael Morris.
All right, let's start this right. Where are those mighty Jaguars? Let me introduce the administration. I'm trying to see everybody. Mr. Kyle Lutz, assistant principal. Mr. Bill Arnold, assistant principal. Miss Michelle York, assistant principal. And school-wide instructional coach, Miss Portia Murphy. We're looking forward to a really, really, really good year. And again, we got it again, mighty Jaguars, we're ready.
Thank you. Next up, we have Dr. Brian Chandler from Northside High School.
Thank you, and I want to thank Dr. King for allowing me to go back home to the blue and gold. Stand up and give it out. I want to also notice my admin team, if you'll please stand up. Mr. Brad Barnett, assistant principal. Soon to be this week, I believe, Dr. Adam Peachy. Mrs. Dion Springfield, AP, and Mr. Tony Brown, AP. And our two instructional coaches are going to be leading the math, Miss Jennifer Arnold, and leading our ELA is going to be Dr. Woody. And again, Northside High School, give it up for the blue and gold.
Next up, we have LaDonna Braswell from North Parkway.
Now to the coolest middle school in
Jackson, Madison County, I greet you from North Parkway Middle School, and I am honored to introduce my admin team. Please stand. Dr. DeCourtney Turner, my AP, as well as Mrs. Brooke Hall, my instructional coach. Please give it up to the coolest middle school in Jackson, Madison County, North Parkway. All we do is win, win, win.
Next up, we have somebody who takes care of our littlest of the little, Miss Tisa Day from Nova Pre-K.
We shine bright like a diamond. We shine bright like a diamond. Yes, Nova, the premier pre-K center. And our lovely AP has loaded, Miss Amy Hawkins. Nova Early Learning Center, where are you? And what do? We shine bright like a diamond.
Next up, we have Chad Guthrie from Madison Academic.
Thank you. First, I want to introduce my assistant principal, Miss Frankie Spearman-Taylor. And then all the Stain gang up in T. Thank you.
We will resume with another roll call, but right now we want Leaders Credit Union. Leaders has a presentation for us.
Good morning. My name is Shay Brown, financial champion for Leaders Credit Union. As you saw in the video, in 1957, a group of inspired teachers said yes to each other when others said no. They said yes by coming together to serve each other's financial needs. 10 teachers in Jackson began investing in each other, and your credit union, Leaders Credit Union, was born. This year, we are celebrating 65 years of serving our members. We recently even celebrated and welcomed our 65,000th member of Leaders and she just so happened to be a teacher. We are passionate about serving our educators. We say yes to teachers. We say yes to our members with better rates and service to relieve stress and to help you achieve your goals. Right now, teachers can take advantage of special rates on savings and checking to help you move forward. We say yes to supporting teachers' ideas through Leaders Education Foundation's Leads Educator Grant Program. Teachers and staff can apply for a $1,000 grant to fund a new idea or initiative that helps students learn, experience, advocate, dream, or serve. Whether it's a frog dissection project or to promote early literacy by celebrating students reaching their sight word benchmarks, a LEADS grant can provide the necessary funding. The application period is now open, and applications are due on September 6th. You can learn more at leadersgives.org, or we have information in your teacher gift this year. We say yes to home ownership by providing teacher appreciation vouchers that you can pick up to help with closing costs on a home purchase or refinance. So if you're new to Jackson or are looking for a new home, we'll help you find your home sweet home. We say yes to financial literacy and helping our community overcome financial barriers by teaching your students in the classroom or the staff at your school how to make smart financial decisions. Financial literacy isn't just for students obtaining a credit in high school, but financial literacy is for all. And we want to share life-changing, helpful information with those who are leading the way every day in the classroom. We are your financial champion. And we say yes to Dr. King and the senior leadership team. We are behind you 100%, and we support the vision. We say yes to Jackson Madison County Schools. So if you haven't already, please stop by one of our tables to receive your teacher appreciation gift, which is a journal this year. And of course, we could not come this morning without bringing those gel highlighters once again. So we thank you for helping your students and families in your schools move forward this year. If you're not a member of Leaders Credit Union, why not say yes and join the movement that began 65 years ago by a group of teachers who forged a new path forward. And now in 2012, Leaders made a commitment to provide $10,000 per year to Jackson Madison County Schools to say yes to our local school system. And this year is no different. So Dr. King, we are happy to present another $10,000 donation to continue saying yes to Jackson Madison County Schools.
After picking up a saxophone in February for the first time, JCM Middle School student LaRon Bowie participated in the Jackson Parks and Recreations Department Jackson Idol competition. He won the 9 through 12-year-old division for his musical performance of Uptown Funk on the saxophone. Here to perform for you, live, LaRon Bowie.
The arts are so important to our organization. Let's give him another round of applause. Awesome. And started in January of this year. That is amazing. At this time, I want to get some good news to you all. So I know you all waiting. And so let me go ahead and get to the real show. Let me go over some data with you all. Our Chief Accountability and Assessment Officer is going to join me in presenting your data. But as Catherine Korth comes to the stage with me to present, there are a couple of more people I want to recognize. I saw Attorney Richard Darnell and Ms. Gladys Forrest out in the audience. I think they stepped away. Education Foundation, I saw the chairperson of the foundation board. Tina, please stand. Board member, please stand. Thank you all for coming. We certainly appreciate it. President Pimentel, Jackson State Community College, we certainly are grateful for the partnership, and thank you. Please. Thank you. So Catherine and I are going to do a duo with this data, and then we're going to recognize some schools. And we're going to recognize some schools who became a level 5. And we're going to have the school principal as well as the admin team come to the front. We're not going to get on the stage, and you'll understand why. Won't they, Tiffany? They'll understand why I say not on the stage, just on the floor. Catherine, they'll understand, right? So we're going to call shortly, but right now, Catherine and I are going to go over the data, so I'm going to give the microphone to Catherine and let her begin, and I'll jump in with her. So we'll try to give you the very condensed version of our data and where we are in terms of our 10 rating 2022 data. Catherine.
Making sure everybody can, okay, this microphone's working. Okay. Am I clicking with this? Okay, to truly understand the data that has come out, you first have to understand what different measures count in the calculations. So it's different for elementary middle schools than it is for high school, but for all schools, the indicators that count is the largest chunk is going to be achievement. That's how did we do on our TN Ready test, what % of kids are meeting expectations. The next biggest piece of the pie, the orange, is growth. That's the TVAS data that Dr. King was just talking about. A brief description of that is every child, based on their past testing performance, has a score that they're predicted to get. Real simplistically, if a kid has always scored around the 50th percentile, they are predicted to score at the 50th percentile again. However, if they score at the 60th percentile, they have shown growth
and that will be a positive TVAS score. If they were to drop to the 30th percentile, that would be a negative TVAS score. So you want, whenever the kids are growing and exceeding their expectations, that's how you get a high TVAS score. That's 35% in elementary and 25% in high schools of the accountability metrics. We also have the ELPA. That is the WIDA access test. This is for our students who are English language learners and just learning the English language, and how well are they progressing in learning that language. And we have the chronic out of school indicator. That's the yellow piece of the pie. That's how many kids are missing more than 10% of school days, because we know that's going to impact their achievement also. For high schools, there's two other metrics added in. The little blue piece of the puzzle is graduation rate at 5%, and then ready graduate. So if we're sending kids out of our schools ready to work or ready for college, counts as 20%. That's that green piece of the puzzle. Where am I pointing to? There we go. Okay, so some important pieces to know as we share this data out today is that for this year, only math and ELA count for school accountability. That may be changing moving forward. Science and social studies are probably going to come into play later this year, but for the data we're looking at, it's math and ELA that is used to calculate all of these. We've heard for a lot of years that letter grades were coming for schools on school report cards, and that's been delayed just because of all of the things that have been going on in the world and with schools, but those will be coming this year. When the report cards come out, each school will have a letter grade. And they did decide, there was debate whether we were going to use the scores from the 2021 school year. The 2021 school year was that year that was very disrupted. We have a lot of our kids that were virtual. There was a ruling by the state legislature that that those scores don't count in accountability. They didn't last year, but they did, correctly in my opinion, decide that they could be used in setting goals for this year, because the reality is that year did happen. And because of this, some adjustments have been made with how some of the different school lists will be generated. For the graduation rate indicator, it's important to note that when we look at the graduation rates that we're going to look at in just a minute, that this data is lagged data. So when we look at graduation rate here and when we look at ready graduate, we're not talking about the kids that walked across, I think it was this stage for most of them, not long ago. What we're going to be talking about is the class of 2021. So those are the kids that just finished their freshman year of college and are headed back. The reason we have lag data is the kids actually have 4 years plus a summer to graduate. So yesterday was the deadline, August 1st, for them to finish any coursework that they may need to be a graduate. So because that timeline is so late, we're always a year late with our graduation rate and ready graduate data. Okay, this may be a little bit hard to see, but when these school letter grades come out this year, I want you to have just a quick understanding of how that is calculated. It's much like your teacher grade book, and much like how we calculate grades in Jackson-Madison County. There are those different indicators, all those different pieces of the pie that we talked about that go into it. You might think of each one of those being an assignment in your grade book, and that the achievement assignment is a bigger assignment than the growth, which is a bigger assignment than the English language proficiency. All students, we calculate this for all students as well as for different subgroups. The all students is 60% of the grade, much like how we calculate our assessment scores. And the historically underserved groups count as 40%. And that's all goes in like assignments in your grade book to come out with the final grade in the class. There will be school letter grades coming out. So anybody that has a 3.1 or higher, you might call this a GPA, will get an A. Very much like we do in school. If your ranking is 2.1 to 3, it'll be a B. The cutoff for a 1.1 for a C, and below that will be a D. If a school's named to a priority list, those are the schools that will receive an F on their report card when they come out. And those will be coming this fall, and we're going to have you a lot more information to truly understand that in more detail when those come out. Okay, so this is our graduation rates for the class of 2021. The orange is the class of 2020, so the previous cohort, and the blue is the class of 2021. And you are going to notice that it dipped just a little bit, okay? And I'm going to explain why. This is also Ready Graduate. This is for the same class, and you're going to notice it dipped just a little bit wide, but let me explain why. Remember we said that this data is lagged a year, okay? So the class of 2021, I want you to picture these kids. In the spring of 2020, remember we went on spring break, it was a really long, nice spring break. I don't know if it was nice, it was really long, a really long spring break. These kids were juniors in high school that year. When they came back from spring break, they were supposed to take the ACT. Did they come back from spring break? They didn't. Okay, so they never got to take the ACT their junior year. Ready Graduate, one of the automatic ways to be a Ready Graduate is to score a 21 on the ACT. Research shows that when kids retake the ACT, their scores improve. Most of this class only got one shot their senior year, just because that junior year was disrupted. Also, another way to be a Ready Graduate is to earn early post-secondary opportunities. That's stuff those are those classes that we have that are in cooperation with the TCAT Center or with Jackson State. It was very difficult to have those classes when we were in a virtual setting. And so we never do want to see a dip in data, but I think it's a little bit understandable given the class of 2021 and what their experience was for their junior and senior year of high school. English language proficiency. So how well are our kids that are new to the United States, new to the English language, acquiring the English language? You can see that the orange is 2020 and the blue is 2021. We made some fantastic improvement with this group of students. The bar on the right was who improved enough that they no longer have to be a part of our English as a second language program, that they've acquired the English language well enough, and we saw an improvement in those scores last year also. Chronic absenteeism. This one probably isn't the prettiest picture to look at. We don't want to see chronic absenteeism improve. Okay, reflecting back on last year, we know that there were a lot of challenges. We had to get some kids that had been in a virtual setting used to coming back to school. We were still dealing with illness, for sure. This is definitely one that we need to have to be a focus this year, is to see if we can reduce the percentage of kids who are missing school. Okay, so now let's talk about our achievement data. How did our kids do? This graph shows all students in Jackson-Madison County, so this is going to include everywhere from 3rd grade through high school in English language arts. You will see, I think you can see the little dip down there that shows where scores dropped off during our COVID year and how they have come back up. Here's an important thing to note. So prior to the pandemic, you probably cannot see that data, but Jackson-Madison County had 20% of our students who were scoring proficient or at grade level in ELA. We have surpassed our ELA scores from before the pandemic.
So let me talk about this comparison. So we're going to talk about how do we compare and how do we look at districts that are comparable. Oftentimes, people want to compare you with a district that is not comparable or a district that has the same complexion as your district when you talk about demographics. It's just like comparing an apple to a pineapple. You know, there's two different things. Apples there, but they are two different things. So what I took was districts that were compared to our district in terms of demographics. And so when we look at the next slide, well, of course, same thing. You can't put a mule in a thoroughbred race, you know what I mean? So I want us to make certain that we understand when we have to compare data, let's look at comparable districts in terms of demographics. The next slide will show us that. If you notice, in ELA, all students, so I took 2018 data. Why did I do that? That was probably the most stable data for us to look at. When we think about 2019, I think the district was in transition with an interim superintendent. 2020, we're at beginning of pandemic. And so we back to 2018 to look at solid data. You all had implemented your curriculum. And so what we want to do is look at that data and then look at data from 2021. When you look at what happened in 2018, Jackson-Madison County was second among these 6 districts. But look where we are now, you all. In 2022, Remember, this was a pandemic year and a pandemic and a half year. So this is incredible work on your part. And it took everybody. It was more than just teachers. It's cafeteria workers, it's our bus drivers, it's our secretaries, our educational assistants, our support staff. The reason I have the transportation and the bowl and the cafeteria staff, I wanted you all to be closer to the floor because I wanted to show you all, I appreciate you all and what you've done. Kids see you all first. And I wanted you to be close to the floor. So when you look at our ELA data, that's where we are in terms of our districts who are comparable to us in terms of complexion-wise. If you look at the next slide.
Okay, this is ELA broken down by elementary, middle, and high school. So elementary is on the left. You can see that dip a little more pronounced in those slides as well as in middle school. But in both of those areas, we are now 4% higher than we were pre-pandemic in terms of our kids that are performing at expectations. High school has remained relatively flat in language arts. They were not as impacted by the pandemic, and they have just remained level over that time.
So if you look at the comparison, ELA, Shelby County in 2018 were ranked amongst the districts who are comparable in terms of demographic first. Look what we did in 2022, you all. And we're gonna do better than this. I congratulate you all for the work that you've done. And even if you look at the percent changed, look at the percent change here in this column for our district. Other districts lost, and one stayed stable, but you all still did a percent increase for elementary. If we look at the next slide for middle school, again, Madison County moves up to position 1 again in middle school. If we look at high school, the next slide, we were in position 1 in 18, and we bounced back by 1. So high school, I'm charging you all to move this back up to position 1, just like elementary and middle. And I know you can do it. And we're going to give you the resources to do it. Next slide.
Okay, let's talk about math. Now, all of the data is shown, and by the way, the data from across the state, Jackson-Madison County has very much mirrored the trends that has been seen across the state. Math suffered a lot more due to the pandemic and the changes that had to happen that year. Prior to the pandemic, we had 20% of our kids that were meeting expectations. During the pandemic year, that fell to 9% of kids. This year, it's back up to 16%. So we've seen recovery. We're not quite back to where we were before, but certainly we've improved over where we were the previous year.
If we look at the next slide, in mathematics for all students, we were in position 3 in 18, in 22 we're in position 2. And so, but when you look at the loss, and you see -1 and 0 here, that shows you that we didn't lose too much, we can gain back, and I know that you all would do that for math. But the next slide is so compelling. Well, after this slide, I think I'll talk about the compelling slides. So, Catherine, this is yours.
Okay, so similar to what we looked at for ELA, this is math. You can see that, you can definitely see the dips more when you look at it broke out by grade band. So in elementary, we went from 26 down to 12, and we're back up to 21. So we're making the recovery like we talked about, with some work to go to get us back to where we were. Middle school, they were at 18 before, dropped down to 8, and are back up to 16. So just 2% off of where we were before the instruction was interrupted. High school, we can see the dip, but the recovery has been slower. So it went from 15 down to 8 and only back up to 9 last year. So we still have some work to do in bringing high school math back up.
If we look at the next slide, elementary math, Shelby County in 2018, Madison County in elementary moves to position 1 along with Lauderdale County. Great job for elementary. If we look at middle school, look where we were in position 4, you all, in 18. And we moved to 2. So I know we can take that first slot. And in high school, we stayed the same in high school, okay? So we know what the challenges are, and I'm very confident that we can do what we need to do to make certain that our students have the necessary requisites to advance and become proficient on these assessments. The next slide, and I think Greg, did you put in the math problem? Yeah, let's look at this problem right here. What's important? What grade is this? Grapes, Mr. Grapes, what grade is this? This is a 7th grade question on 10 Ready. How many of us could answer this within probably a minute? This is what we're challenging our students with when we talk about math. We're not just talking about computation. They must comprehend, but then they also must be able to analyze and break this down. So the work that you are doing in math and reading, I don't think people realize the assessment that students are taking as to the reason they can say teachers are the dumbest in America, or the education college is the dumbest. I would challenge some of these people who choose to take public school dollars. I would challenge them to give their students or even their staff questions like this on a timed test, and let's see what they do. Let's see what they do. So the next slide, if you notice, Catherine will talk about science, and I think we have the social studies. All yours, Catherine.
So looking at the science, and then when we look at social studies here in just a minute, it's a little bit different because there's a 2-year gap in the middle of there. There was a change of standards and a change of assessment in the middle of all of this change also. So what we really just need to look at are the last 2 bars on these, because that's when the new assessment came out. And you can see an upward trend at elementary school, at middle school, and at high school. So we are showing that we're making improvement in growth in science. Social studies is the exact same thing. There was a change of standards, there was a change in assessment. Elementary no longer has a social studies test, so you just see middle school and high school. Middle school made some significant gains. You can see how that is going up, and high school also showed improvement in social studies scores.
Hold right there. You just hold right there. Hard work pays off. I want to recognize level 4 schools and the principal. And I just want you to stand and your administration stand, and then I have your staff stand. We have West Bemis Middle, who was a 1 in 2021, and now they are a 4. Principal Willis and your team. West Bemis, where are you all? West Bemis, make some noise. Great job. We have Denmark, school composite was a level 3 last year, and they're level 4 this year. Dr. Quinn and Denmark, stand. And we have JCM Middle, 0. And now they're level 4. Dr. Bree and your team. JCM Middle, where are you all? Now, I want to share with you all the next slide. Wait. Let me talk about something just for 1 second.
I'm trying to go back.
Just 1 second. You see, what disturbs me is that people can talk about our scores, but they don't talk about the salary. Pay us. Give us money for this work that we are doing. We come out in a pandemic. We feed kids. We drive kids to school. We teach them how to read. We move up higher than others. But look, go back to the salaries. Go back to... And our salary, we're number 107 in the state of Tennessee out of 144 districts. Unacceptable, Jackson, Madison County. It's unacceptable to pay our teachers starting salary being number 107. This administration will do everything in its power to raise the salaries to where they're supposed to be, and we're going to make it happen. Trust me. Write it down. Write it in concrete. And I'm talking about not only just for teachers, I'm talking about for all employees. Write it down. Put it on the court. Put it in blood on the court. And mark my word, we will come back and we will increase the salaries. Now, if you stay here with us 10 years, we raise up, back. Don't move the slide yet. If you stay with us 10 years, we're still number 38, but that's still unacceptable. That's still unacceptable. But see, the interesting thing, people can say, all the kids are not reading in 3rd grade. When you going to pay teachers to teach them? Half of you all are going into your pockets to go to the store already this week, and you've been out of all the money. Remember, I'm married to a teacher. Yep, I know you're breaking your husbands. And if you're not married, I bet you got a second job. I bet you have a second job if you're not married because of what you're doing for kids. We have to compensate people. This board took a belief statement and said that we will invest in employees financially and professionally. And that's what this board is working on. Mr. Chairman, am I right? Board members, am I right? And we're going to make it happen for you all because the work that you're doing is unbelievable and the marks that you're making. Now we can go to the next slide. We started at the bottom at a 1. Now we're a level 5 district. It's because of you all. 5 district-wide, 5 in literacy, 5 in numeracy, 5 in science. We've been a 1 forever. We've been a 1 forever. Now we are a 5 district. Go tell the people that, but tell them to bring the purse and let the purse strings go so we can get paid for teachers. Now, I'm getting ready to call out level 5 schools. I'm going to start with the principal and admin team. Come to the front center. Bring your team when I call your school. These are level 5 schools in our district. Let me give you all a disclaimer. Majority of our schools are level 5. First one, East Elementary, went from a 1 to a 5. Dr. Bradford, come on down with your team. East, where are you all? Stand up, East. I would like to give you notice that Andrew Jackson Elementary went from a 2 to a 5. Come on, Mr. Kirkbride, Andrew Jackson. Miss Vowell, Pope School, you went from a 1 to a 5. Let's go. I would like to announce Miss Braswell went from a 4 to a 5. Let's go, baby. North Parkway. Thelma Barker went from a 2 to a 5. Miss Pickens, let's go. Here's a repeat, back-to-back, 5 and a 5. Southside High School, Miss Tucker and the Hawks. Come on down. Here's a repeat, a 5 and a 5. JCM Early College, come on down. Here's another repeat, a 5 and a 5. Madison Academic High School, Mr. Guthrie, you all come on down. And I'm still not through. Mr. Morris, I want to announce to you, you were a 1 last year, you're a 5 this year. With you and your admin team from Northeast Middle, come on down. Miss Alsop and Isaac Lane didn't even have a score. You all are 5 from nothing. Where's Isaac Lane? Come on down. South Elementary, you went from a 2 to a 5. Mr. Nelson and his team, come on down. Miss Treadway, I would like to tell you that Alexander went from a 4 to a 5. Miss Treadway, Miss Davis, Alexander, y'all come on down. And last, but certainly not least, Mr. Walker, JCT went from a 1 to a 5. Come on down. Look at this, Jackson. Go tell the people about this. Go tell them about this. Go tell them, you all. Tell them about this. We started at the bottom. Now, where are we? We're here. I think it's time for a celebration, Miss Christie. I think it's time for a celebration, Miss Christie. I think it's time for a celebration. I think it's time for a celebration. Let's go for it. All yours. Take a bow, level 5 schools and a level 5 district. Give yourself a round of applause, everybody in this building. Exciting times, you all. Hard work. I cannot be more proud of what you all have done as a school community. I am grateful to work alongside you as your coach as we continue to win. I really appreciate what you've done. Greg, if you show the birthday card for a second. Can you show the birthday card? I wanted you all to, Mr. Matthews, could you come up for a second with JMCEA? Because I think the partnership that we have is so important. And I think people need to know. Oh, so some of you all get my birthday cards and some of you don't because they come back to my office because it says return back to me. So if you don't have your birthday card updated, okay, we can get the music, we're done. So if you don't have your address updated, you're gonna miss my card. This year I'm giving you a card, but now the lunch is not at stake, it's school lunch. So I try hard, y'all. All these people are spoiled, rotten. The board spoiled. I try to get to everybody. So the principals got to spoil you all too. But I do try, you all. But if you would detach this super lunch, so when you get this in the mail, you have all year long to get you free lunch out the cafeteria. Eat lunch. Bus drivers, go by your school and get your lunch. All right, cafeteria workers, eat your lunch, all right? So lunch on me for your birthday, okay? Is that fair enough? And we're gonna get y'all some money too. Karen Bell, Chief Financial Officer, please stand. Karen, we're gonna get them some money. We're gonna get you all some money. We're gonna get you all some money, thank you all. Danita and Demetrius, I think they stepped out. Danita's my executive assistant, Demetrius is the board secretary. I want Mr. Matthews to have words on behalf of JMCEA and share his thoughts with everybody.
Thank you, Dr. King. Hello, everyone. You all look nice in that blue and black. I'm Mal Matthews. I'm president of Jackson-Madison County Education Association. It's so good to see you all. I feel like I'm at a big family reunion. Now, you notice that Dr. King put me at the end of the program. Like I'm gonna talk a lot. He gave me 3 minutes. The time is starting now. Okay. First of all, JMCA needs you. We are here for you. The NEA has over 3 million members. We are the largest union in the country. Let's give a round of applause, please. Now, when I point, I want you to clap twice, okay? In 1971, personal and professional level mandated. In 1981, sick leave bank authorized. In 1986, established planning time for teachers, whether you get it or not. 1998, established health insurance for retired teachers. If you join the association, the annual cost right now is $559.50. That's about $21.50 per pay period. But if you use the benefits, you get that money back. How many of you all have a cell phone? Raise it up. All right. How many of you all with AT&T? Keep it up. A 25% discount if you use it on your monthly bill. If you join the NEA between now and October 31st, you will receive a $50 cash rebate. When I joined this association over 25 years ago, this county was almost at 100%. I'm asking you, please, to join as we fight for teachers, educators, and staff. We appreciate all that you do. I'm so excited about these level 4 and level 5 schools, Dr. King. Wow. So you all are great. You are fantastic. If you need me, I will be sending out emails periodically, let you know what the association is doing, and let you know what we have done. Now, how many of you all set a goal to lose weight over the summer? Raise your hand. Okay, I did too, but I gained weight. Now, so you know how it is. We go to the gym, we get a trainer, we start working out. So I have a trainer, right? Okay, so we work on arms, shoulders one day, then we go to legs. Well, we had done a leg workout. He said, now, Mal, it is time for squats. What kind of squats do you want to do? I said, diddly.
Again, thank you all so much. And one more thing. Paula Broomfield, this is for you. This is for you. What do you call a bear with no teeth? Gummy bears. Thank you very much. We love you and have a wonderful year. 3 minutes.
As we celebrate all the great things that happened last school year, we want to look forward to this school year, one that we think will be the very best yet. This morning, Eugene Bront, lead pastor of Fellowship Bible Church, is going to lead us in a blessing of the upcoming school year.
Before I was the lead pastor, I was a 7th grade teacher. So to all those middle school teachers out there, you have my wholehearted support. But more than that, we have the Lord's attention. Let us pray. Thus says the Lord, stand by the roads and look, and ask for the ancient paths where the good way is, and walk in it, and find rest for your souls. God, we do look to a new year with all the opportunity and all the challenges, with all the friends and new acquaintances, and the unknown stretches before us. And sometimes, Lord, it is daunting, and yet we recognize that you have already set the path before us. And if we would just look to the ancient paths, the way your grace has permeated the days before, we might be able to see that you have set before us a new task, a new day with new opportunities, and in all of them, your grace is sufficient. And so I pray for each teacher, each administrator, each aide, bus driver, cafeteria worker, janitorial worker, and all those in between that are going to have opportunities to care for and encourage children. May you give them a perspective that stretches from the ancient paths all the way into a bright new future. I pray for your blessing on this year, on these people and the children they serve. For your name's sake, amen.
Roll call for principals. Those schools who have not gone, please come line up right here at the stage so I can get you to introduce your staff. While I recognize a few people, Bishop Bond, Dr. Johnson, Dr. Brunt, thank you all. We really appreciate you all for joining us this morning and taking time out, because you could have been doing something else for these past 2 or 3 hours, but you spent it with us, and I'm grateful for it. Thank you so much. We also have Dr. Kyle Barron. Oh, okay. Thank you so much for joining us as well. We really appreciate the support. I can't thank these principals enough for the work that they do and the work that they have done. You all did it. We've got to do it all over again. Chiefs, would y'all please stand one more time? They make it happen for me all the time. I know they get tired of me. Karen, stand on with these chiefs. You know, thank you all. We got Ms. Spike, Chief Academic Officer, Chief School Officer, Keeping Joy, Chief Financial Officer, Karen Bell, Chief Human Capital Officer, Dr. Hicks Watkins, Dr. Patrice Richardson Martin, Chief Compliance and Monitoring Officer, Chief Assessment and Accountability Officer, Ms. Core, Dr. Franklin, Chief Social and Behavioral Officer, Chief Innovation Officer, Dr. McSweeney, Mr. Bridgman, Chief Operating Officer, and Mr. Gilmer, Chief Support and Security Officer. Y'all, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for making it happen for us. Now we have some principals who are going to recognize their schools for a moment, and then we're going to feed you all. We're going to feed you today, and we're going to feed you tomorrow. So one thing, if you don't get into good professional learning, you're going to get some good food or something. You're going to be full. I'll tell you that much. So I appreciate teachers and what you all do, all the staff members. I appreciate you all. Make sure Melissa will go over the instructions on what you're going to need to grab your lunch again. And my board, I have just the best board. Well, my board members, please stand one more time. When you have a focused board, you can go from a 1 to a 5. Y'all understand what I mean? We have a focused board. And this board right here is working with me to make sure that we get the salaries right. But when we got a focused board, Chairman, we can go from a 1 to a 5. Because, see, we're out the weeds of the other stuff, and we're letting the main thing be the main thing. And the main thing is focusing on our children and making sure that we support our employees and give you all the resources that you need. So we're excited. Thank you all. I'm delightful and humbled to serve this board. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh, you got it? Okay, so we're going to do the roll call, and we can keep the music light, and we're going to roll them on out of here. All right. Shannon Davis, Alexander.
All right. Dr. Johnson, you may remember Stan Bell from Memphis, so y'all, we're going to do the roll call. All right, here we go. We got Shannon Davis coming to the stage. Y'all give her a hand. Here we go from Alexander.
Hello, everyone. I am Shannon Davis, the principal of the awesome Alexander Elementary School. And I have with me all right, the Warriors. I have Miss Kelly Moffitt, our awesome instructional coach, and Mr. Donald Hornbuckle, our assistant principal.
All right, coming up next, we have Dr. Shaman Reeves from Arlington.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Last year they told me that we needed to calm down because we was doing way too much. I thought about it for a little while. But that just ain't us! Crank that music back up! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who we are, let me tell you who we are today. I want to introduce our staff. First with me, my sister, Miss Priscilla Duvall, the AP. Our instructional coaches, Miss Diane Ivory, the Lady of Pearls, and Miss Cheryl Warfolk. Now, let me introduce you to the most motivated, innovative, dedicated staff in the United States. If you don't know who we are, you need to start paying attention and catch up. We may not be a level 5 yet, but we started at the bottom as a level 1. We moved to a 3, and our word was sustainability. We stayed where we were. And guess what? We'll be moving up that list, and I am proud of all you level 4 and 5 schools and everybody in this building as an administrator, because we are one team and we are one family. But, hey, don't take it from me. Arthur, tell them who we are. Mic drop.
All right, coming up next, we have Dr. Kim Quinn from Denmark Elementary.
Okay, I'm trying to contain myself because I really want to do a praise dance in here this morning. We went from level 1 to level 2 to level 3. This year we're level 4. Next year we strive for level 5. I'm trying to keep myself together, but when I get out there, I'm going to do a praise dance. God is so good. To God be the glory for all the things he's done for Denmark Elementary. I want to introduce my amazing administrative team. My assistant principal, Miss Jennifer Stanfield. I'm trying to hold it together. Okay. My amazing instructional coach, Miss Kathleen Holmes. Okay. Okay. Now, we might be a small school in the country, but we're preparing kids for big city dreams. My dynamic staff, Denmark Elementary, stand on your feet. Take this mic, I'm trying to keep it together. Woo!
All right, for our next school, we're going to take it down a little. We're going to take it down. Shh. Peace, calm. Dr. Melinda Harris from Montessori.
CMS, Community Montessori, thank you, Dr. King, for your support of our public Montessori school, and to a wonderful staff. Let's do it one more time. Thank you to the two ladies that have my back every day and support me, the great work. Jessica Donnell, Assistant Principal, and Amber Cogbill, Instructional Coach. Thank you, CMS.
All right, next up we have Delisa Alsop from Isaac Lane.
There are no words to describe how very proud I am of the Isaac Lane Dragons. I want to introduce you to the most wonderful AP, Karen Edwards, please stand. Instructional Coach, Denise Pewitt, and Instructional Coach, Jennifer White. Mr. LJ, who are we? Woo-hoo! Oh, they know what it is. And to tell you how successful we are, they practiced that for 1 hour yesterday. So Isaac Lane will continue, keep your eyes open, we will continue to be a place for student success, teacher success, and school success, school-wide.
All right, next up we have Janet Gore from Parkview.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Janet Gore, and I'm the proud principal of Parkview Prep Academy. I would like to introduce our wonderful instructional coach, Miss Sonia Washington. And Parkview Prep Academy, the Eagles have landed.
All right, next up we have James Walker from JCT.
You better ask somebody, level 5 JCT. First, I want to give it up to my assistant principal, Mr. Ray Yancey. My IC, Miss Leslie Wolf. And as Mr. Wicker said, I'm James Walker, the assistant principal at JCT. JCT is in the house. Bulldogs in the house. Bulldogs in the house. JCT is in the house. Lexington Ave is where we stay. Learning taking place each and every day. We're the best kept secret in the whole wide state. Here are the Bulldogs. Bark!
All right, next up we have Dr. Tiffany Green from Rose Hill.
When I say Rose Hill, you say Raiders, Rose Hill, Rose Hill. When I say Rose Hill, you say Raiders, Rose Hill. Last time when I say Rose Hill, you say Raiders, Rose Hill, Rose Hill. All right, I am Dr. Tiffany Green, the newly appointed principal at Rose Hill Pre-K school, I'd like to introduce to you our lovely assistant principal, Mrs. Rachel Clark, Dr. Larry Ivory, our other assistant principal, and our amazing instructional coach, Mrs. Jeanette Coleman. It's going to be a wonderful year at Rose Hill, where we are Rose Hill ready.
All right. Coming up next is my little brother, or otherwise known as Dr. Nathan Lewis from Early College. We'd also like to welcome up Dr. Breeden and Dr. Dorsey to the stage. JCM Middle, JCM High School, JCM Early College.
DJ, drop that beat. All right, we may be small, but we're making a big impact. JCM Early College High! The lovely assistant principal, Mia Morris. And assistant principal, he's a nice, amazing guy, David Westbury. And my friends, my family, I love them so much. JCM Early College High, teachers, staff, faculty, they are amazing.
All right. Is this mic on? Yeah. So I am Carrie Ann Breeden. I want to introduce you to my admin team. First and foremost, Mr. James Pastor Liston. And our instructional coach, Miss Amanda Cornelius. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ramonica Dorsey, principal of Jackson Central Mary High School, class of 92. We have our fabulous assistant principal, class of 91, Mr. Broderick Baker. Please stand. We have Miss Trina LaSure, our instructional coach. My dream team. All right. Carrie Ann. K.A. K.A. from the GJ. I just got one question for you, Cougars. Who are you rooting for? Who are you rooting for? JCM. Who are you rooting for? JCCM. Hold up. That's not it. That's not it. Will the Cougar family please stand? If y'all already standing. Y'all didn't hear me. I mean the Cougar family. We go way back. Mary High, Jackson Central Mary. Stand. Yeah. There you go. I see you. I see you. But for the other people in the house, I feel bad because you should have been a Cougar. Should have been a Cougar. Hey! Hey! You should have been a Cougar. Yay!
I don't know which one.
All right, next up, I hate that he has to follow that, but here's Mr. Richard Willis from West Bemis.
Man, what you talking about, Bemis? What you talking about, Bemis? Yeah, level 4. I'm happy, y'all. All right, I'm gonna introduce my wonderful admin team. Miss Mia Neely stand. She's our assistant principal. And Miss Sandra Spencer, our instructional coach. And we are the Mighty Tigers. Woo! Watch us, y'all.
All right, coming up next, from way out south, Mr. Scott Nelson in South Elementary.
Good morning. I'm Scott Nelson. I'm the proud principal of South Elementary, the best school ever. I would like to introduce my admin staff, Miss Erlene Price, our assistant principal, and Miss Kimberly McNeil, our instructional coach. I would like to now introduce our school staff, the best staff ever, South Elementary. Our school is what? Our school is what? Our school is? South Elementary.
All right. It's a great day to be a Hawk. Here's Miss Anita Tucker from Southside.
I need the karaoke machine, Dr. King, for all my friends. I want to introduce to you my staff. I have assistant principals, Mr. Craig McNatt, Dr. Sherry Baldwin, Miss Kashandra Sane, and instructional coach, Dr. Christy Sharon, and the rest of our team in Section Q. Let me hear you say, it's a great day to be a Hawk. Woo! And we will celebrate when we get back south of the river.
All right, coming up next, Jennifer Ballard from Liberty Tech High School.
Liberty Tech, I am the proud principal of Liberty Tech. I want my admin team to stand. Assistant Principal, Miss Mitzi Kirk, Mr. Ross Gennaro, my two instructional coaches, Miss Teresa Sutherland and Miss Ruth Ann Holloman. Now, I needed a very special person to come help me introduce this next group of people that I get to live the tech life with. Let me hear you say, tech life! Tech life!
Listen, they taught thousands of students and who have gone across this country to do great and mighty things. They've given countless hours of preparation for classroom assignments. They continue to go beyond the call of duty to see that Liberty Tech holds the standard of the tech life. I'm talking about some people they used to call angels. Some call them Avengers. Some call them superheroes. But we know them as the amazing Crusaders. Make some noise for the faculty and staff of Liberty Tech High School. Tech Life.
Tech Life.
All right, to close down the show, for the final roll call, we have Miss Annie Atkins from Lincoln Elementary.
First, I'm going to introduce my admin team, Miss Veronica Sesson, my assistant principal, and then Miss Carrie Collier, my instructional coach. We are the dream team. I'm number 1, the GOAT, number 22, the clutcher, and number 23, the go-to. We got, now, I got to introduce my staff. Dr. King! Dr. King! What do we expect? How we gonna do it? Lincoln! Let's go! Lincoln! Here we go!
All right, let's give all of our great administrators assistant principals, staff, central office staff. Everybody make some noise!
Let's thank our students, you all. Y'all did an amazing job. All of our students, love you all. Thank you all so much. We had a DJ earlier. Where is Coach Comer? Thanks, Coach Comer, for our entertainment this morning, and wherever you are, Coach. Thanks a lot. Melissa, you want to join me up here? Melissa's going to give you all some instructions. Dr. Baxter, Miss Caldwell, and Miss Pam Bettler, where are you all? Are y'all here anywhere? If y'all are, please stand. Dr. Baxter, Miss Caldwell, Miss Bettler, leadership support, I appreciate you all for joining us. It's been a great day, and I want you all to keep doing what you do. Cannot thank you enough. It feels great to be a part of such an organization with a focus on kids and making it happen for them. So thank you all so much. Going from a 1 to a 5, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen without hard work. This is unprecedented, and you are to be commended, and you are to be celebrated. So again, thank you, and I look forward to many more opportunities to win. Thank you so much.
Wow, what a great morning. And it's not over because we're going to get lunch. And we also have you visited the vendor tables. And so as soon as I give lunch directions, then we're going to have them come up to the left side, and they're just going to come on the stage, tell who they are, and then they're going to draw the name. So hopefully you got around to all the tables to visit all of the, get all the information from those vendors, and they want to give you a door prize to get you started off on the school year right. Also, as we talk about lunch, so I've told Dr. King this many times, that we haven't ever had this where we get fed as much as we get fed with Dr. King. So we are, well, I admire this man, and I'm just lucky to be able to work with him. So we're going to feed 2,000 people in just a minute. So, but before we do that, there were a few gracious sponsors who helped with the cost for this, and I want to read those out. American Fidelity, ATA, Curriculum Associates, Proximity, Champion, Voya, 5 Points, Rainey Kaiser Revere and Bell, US Able, and your learning partners. Let's give them a hand because they are helping with the cost of the meal. So I'm going to give meal directions, and then we're going to let the vendors come up so that you can get your chance at the door prize, and then you'll be dismissed to go get your meal as you leave. Also, the shuttle buses will run. They'll start running. They'll give you time to get your meal, and then they'll start running. They'll do a couple of different loops from each destination to be able to get that. Also, Dr. Catlett wanted me to remember that he was waiting until the end of the program to see that our phone system was all up and running. But we want to give a shout out to the technology department. If you'll stand, please. Thank you. So many people work behind the scenes to make everything happen, and we appreciate you. So you have 4 selections for box lunches: Jimmy John's, Honey Baked Ham, Zaxby's, and Chick-fil-A. So they each have about 500 meals. So we're going to be patient and gracious as we wait on those, as you go out there to get those. A gluten-free option is at Jimmy John's, and a veggie option is at Honey Baked Ham. Now, in the back of your conference book, right here in the back, you have this ticket. So when you get in line, tear this ticket out. Now, we got a little ahead of ourselves, and we said that it was for August the 3rd, and this is August the 2nd. So this is the ticket you need. Okay, we are going to close out our program with our gracious vendors who are partners to our school system. If y'all will just line up over here, vendors, if you'll line up right over here. They have what they have done is brought their bowl that you put your name in, And so they're going to come introduce themselves and the company that they're with, and they're going to draw it out. And then you'll meet, if you are the lucky winner, you'll meet them back at their table to get your door prize. So come on up.
Good morning. I'm Kelly Nanny, and this is Lindsay Hayes, and we are here representing West Tennessee Medical Group. We are a provider-based group that provides primary and specialty care in over 40 locations across West Tennessee. So we just want to say thank you for the incredible work that each of you do in shaping our community's youth, and as part of that thanks, we're giving away, thank you. As part of that thanks, we're giving away a gift certificate for a massage at Jackson Day Spa. And the winner is Wendy Cates. If you'll meet us out here at our table. Thank you.
Thank y'all so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Clayton Rooswald. I am with the Lift Wellness Center, and with the Lift, y'all came by and saw y'all do have options of memberships that are discounted rates at the Lift Wellness Center. And for the winner today, we have Tamika Springfield.
Good afternoon. My name is Will Lovelady. I'm here with American Fidelity. We are an insurance company providing you protection for your income, peace of mind, and legacy by providing you a host of benefit options. If you came by our desk today, we had a big basket of an assortment of goodies. So the first person Glenda Pug. Now, we also have a second gift in efforts to provide some help with the getting your income increased by $100. Barbara Morton.
Good morning, everyone. Been a great day. This is probably the best I've seen and been around in all the years I've been coming to this. So thank you, thank you, thank you. This is a small token from United Way of West Tennessee. We appreciate you so much. And this is Rex Fowler, from Southside High School.
I'm Sandra Cagle. I'm with Curriculum Associates, where we have iReady in your schools. And I have a winner from Pope Elementary. Her name is Lisa Henderson. And Lisa, by the way, is going to get a bag full of Curriculum Associates swag along with a $100 gift certificate.
Good afternoon. My name is Parker Pierce. I'm with Freed-Hardeman University's Graduate Admissions Department. We're a private Christian university located about 15 minutes south of South Jackson, so we're pretty close. Had a drawing for our gift bag today. The winner is Mr. Dan Harwell from Central Office.
Good morning, my name is Matt Bowman and I'm with the School of Education at Union University. We would love to talk with you. That's right, go Bulldogs. We would love to talk with you about our degree options. We've got everything from teacher licensure all the way up to doctoral studies. We would love to talk to you. We've got a couple of gift bags to give away today. One to Janet Sweeney and Ben Hickey from JASA. So meet me at my table out here and we'll hook you up. Thanks.
Hey folks, my name is Mitch Miller from IXL Learning. I'm very excited to be here today and to tell you that the district's supporting you with IXL from 8th to 11th graders this year. So very excited for you guys. We do have a winner for our $50 Amazon gift card, and that is from Northside High School, Nicole Bond.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dariel Springfield. I see a few people stuck around and then run out to go grab their lunch. At any rate, I am from Western Governors University. We are an online university, competency-based, and our tuition is about $3,500 for 6 months of courses, so you can take as many courses as you would like to in that 6 months term. We're one of the best things out there. Competency-based means as soon as you take that test, you're done with that course. At any rate, if you're interested in knowing more about WGU, please see me at my table. And now for the winner of a $100 gift card. Raffle. We're running it now. It's spinning. There were a lot of people and a lot of names. It is Tara Harrison. Please see me at the table. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Sharita Graham, Vice President and Lender at Bancorp South Bank, a division of Cadence Bank. And I just want to say I wish you well for this school year, safety for all that is involved. Our winner for our drawing, which is going to be the Legacy Bancorp South blanket with a cup and a bag, and also a notepad. The winner is Melody, is that Asmar, here in Jackson, Melody.
Short people. Good morning, my name is Kylie Clagg and I'm a financial advisor with VALIC and AIG Retirement Services. We handle a 403B here for the district. My winner is from Northeast, Edith Hardy. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, morning, whatever it is. My name's Dave Bratcher, and I'm proud to announce that the YMCA is back in Jackson and Madison County. By the way, anybody that's looking for a part-time job, 3 to 6 today at Central Office, we're going to be having a hiring event. Come by, see us in the boardroom. Got 2 things. The first one's the Yeti cooler. That goes to Susan Welch. Susan Welch. And then I've got Beats by Dre earpods, and that is Shawanda Montgomery.
Good morning, Jackson Madison. My name is Stephanie Steer, and I am with 5 Points, the Gallagher Company. I'm your account manager, and we are your broker for the district, and we provide you Blue Cross Blue Shield dental and vision, Trustmark Life, US Able Life, and my benefits channel technology. Thank you for letting me be here today. That was an awesome program. And I hope you guys have the best school year ever. And we are giving away an American Express gift card and a little power bank. And the winner is Betty Cherry.
Hi everyone, I'm Carl McMaster with US Able Life. We handle the Section 125 plan, which encompasses the flexible spending accounts and the supplemental insurances offered to you all. My staff looks forward to seeing you all in October. Today I'm going to be giving away a cooler stuffed with goodies, and that is going to go to Charity Morris. And before I go, I need to say that this has been the most enthusiastic work meeting that I've ever been at. So thank you all for inviting me. It's been great.
Hello, JMCSS family. My name is Hope Khalil, and I'm representing the Madison County Imaginationary Library this morning. As most of you know, you are able to give $1, $5, whatever amount you'd like through the payroll, so deducted from your payroll. So if you would like to do that at any time, please contact me. Today we have a gift card for $25 for Books A Million, and the winner is Brooke Hennings, Andrew Jackson. Just come see me at the table. Thank you.
Let's give another round of applause to our vendors who came yesterday to set up, and they've been here since 7 o'clock this morning. So this concludes our program. We wish you the very best year. I believe it'll be the best year ever. Be sure to get your lunch and keep your conference books for tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.